Hello, hello, and welcome. Good morning. If you are able to be here this morning with me on live, I love for you to say hello. And I love to do these live so you can ask questions, post comments, interact in real time, which is so nice. And let me know if you find it helpful to do these with notice. I know I decided to do this like last night and noted that I was going to be doing the live today, this morning. And oftentimes I honestly just do these kind of off the cuff if I have a gap in my day and if I feel inspired on a certain topic. So I always love hearing from you if there's a specific topic that you're looking for more information on. And just a reminder, in our Facebook community, there is a full guide section on like hundreds of videos that I've done over the past years of various topics with mindset, nutrition, recipe ideas, meal ideas. So I am kind of enhancing some of them. And then there's some great material and options for you as well here. So thank you for being here this morning. Today's topic I was inspired to talk about was just a lot of things is just experience throughout the week of what I'm noticing and seeing. And hopefully I can bring that to light to you and hear what you're feeling. So this time of year, there's so much input of extreme dieting. And that's really the topic today is why is it so hard to break the cycle of feeling like you need to be doing it very restrictively, very extreme, eliminating things, under eating. What are the things that you feel like you should be doing? The rules that you should be following, what you feel like is the way you have been taught that weight loss should look. And I want you to know that this is totally normal and it's part of our human experience. It's what you have been modeled, taught, and saw in your environment for decades and decades of your life. So if you really think about this, what you've been exposed to for that long is, of course, what you're going to believe and the actions that you're going to take in according to that. So I've been trying to read more at night lately, and I've been incorporating more of a fiction-based book because I wanted something that was light, something that was just a story. I love learning. I love self-development. And at night, I was trying to do something more, just not feeling pressure to have to be retaining information at that point of the night. I'm just not in a place to do that. So I said, and that's okay. So anyways, I was reading this novel, and of course, there is a chapter that they're talking about the character with doing some kind of extreme weight loss method in a short period of time to fit into a smaller dress size. And it was based upon the dress. So this character was essentially juicing for the past 48 hours, and she lost 6 pounds on the scale, which she admittedly said she would gain back the following day, as when she stopped just doing the juice. She was doing like, a kale juice or something in a black tea. And she said she knew she would gain the weight back immediately, plus 2 more pounds, plus more. And prior to the event that she was doing this for, she was so lightheaded, so nauseous. She felt like she was going to pass out. And what a great feeling before an important event that you're in charge of, making a great first impression to parents. So she did this to fit into a size 6 dress to wear to an open house as a teacher. When I say in front of parents, she's a teacher and she was holding her open house for the year. And the reason she was doing this, and it's so silly when we look back on the stories around this, but it just goes to show the feeling that we're looking for from these. So she had her prior boyfriend's son in her class the upcoming school year, and she wanted her ex-boyfriend to feel wistful when seeing her at the open house and maybe even making his wife jealous. But she also admitted that his wife was so lovely, so sweet. This character had really no intentions of trying to separate the two of them or that they would ever get back together. And she did love having their son in her class. All of these methods that she was taking was for a momentary feeling. I want you to let that percolate for a second of recognizing we're doing this often for, I need to wear this dress. I need to wear this dress size. Why? Why does it need to be that size? And this is the thing with clothing sizes. They are so variable with where you're buying things from. And honestly, if you buy things that are fitting you appropriately, it makes you look like you're, a smaller size essentially, because it's not squeezing you so much that it feels uncomfortable and restrictive and you can't breathe. This is not enjoyable and you're not enjoying the event that you're at. You feel awful and you can't breathe. So these desperate measures that are taken for extreme weight loss are primarily based upon attaching your value to this number. Whether it's a dress size or you're so deeply tied to living and dying based on how others view you. That's another piece of it. You're so tied to other people's perception of you that you're taking methods that are completely drastic and very unhealthy and really ruining your relationship with food and how you feel outside of that moment, right? The day-to-day, the behind the scenes. Until you work through these limiting beliefs, how you identify yourself, how you feel about yourself, you will continue to be dominated by these overwhelming thoughts that lead to desperate, unhealthy actions. It is how it goes. Hi, Nicole. I need to be better at looking at the chat box. Yes, 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 yes. So glad, so glad. So to come full circle on this story, the character in this book did see her ex-boyfriend at this event and his wife at the open house. The wife was so grateful to have this character, I'm calling her, as her son's teacher, and she shared how much her son enjoyed this teacher so much. And of course, kids could care less what you look like. They're about how you make them feel, right? Kids recognize this. So there was a short conversation between the character and her ex, just filling him in on the happenings with her family since their time together. So it was just, a little respectful conversation. And that's pretty much how the chapter, the story ended. But the thing here that I want to note is that there was no description or talking about what happened to her after this 48-hour juice cleanse that she did with food choices. And this is what I want to emphasize to you, that you are seeing this everywhere around you, in a book that you're reading, an email that you're seeing, on social media, on advertisements. Like, really think about during your day the amount of input that you're seeing from do this extreme thing, get this result in 2 days, 3 days, going to the grocery store and you see the magazine sitting there and it's like how to lose 10 pounds in 7 days, right? It's everywhere. So of course, this is what we believe to be true. And this is what we believe is the way to do it, because it's literally what we're marketed to in every area of our life. It's input in our brain. And so we feel like in order to achieve that, we have to go to this extreme. But what it's setting you up for is failure, frustration, negative self-talk. Why can't I do this? Everybody else is. You're not seeing what's going on behind the scenes. So after this extreme approach, I can pretty much tell you, what happened with this character. So yes, she lost 6 pounds on the scale in 2 days, which is all fluid. It's all water. She ate no fiber, no protein. Like, your body has biological, physiological needs from nutrients. So if you're not giving it the variety of macronutrients and nutrients, like, this is not just something that's made up. This is science. This is your biology of how you need to function optimally. So that's why you're getting these symptoms of feeling so terrible when you're doing these extreme approaches. Your blood sugar is a roller coaster because you are literally just eating sugar and caffeine. Like she was drinking black coffee and drinking juice. There's all the fibers extracted from the fruit. So it's literally the sugar from the fruit. So you have the juice, blood sugar goes up. Oh, then you have caffeine. You feel this temporary better. Down, like down, up, down. And this is the problem. This is going to affect your mood, your energy, your motivation, your how you think about yourself when you're on the like down on the roller coaster. Sabotaging thoughts, like it's tearing you apart and it's making you feel so restricted. And then when these 48 hours are over, you are going to reach for the most calorie dense foods you can find. And the combination of the quantity and the quality of the food that you're eating, which is going to typically be what is most calorie dense, higher fat, higher salt, higher carb options, the combination of that trifecta, fat, salt, and carbs, is like so sensory rich for our brains. It tastes so delicious. So recognize that this is physiology, that these food combinations give your brain this uptick, and also it's giving your body fast energy because you've been feeling so deprived from what you've needed. But then because of the quantity that you're having at once, because you feel so ravenous and so hungry and so deprived, digestion is completely thrown off. You feel bloated. You feel like you have tons of gas. And then the mental spiral starts. You feel tremendous shame. You feel tremendous guilt around what you just did. And then these feelings are leading to desperate measures of going back to the opposite extreme, of restricting your intake, feeling like you need to punish yourself for what you did, of overeating, or you're feeling like you need to do strenuous exercise, limit calories until your body is so desperate again for nutrients, it starts the out of control eating again. It's a cycle. It is a chain linked cycle that's so hard to break unless you're stopping the restriction. That is the point of the chain you need to focus on. And that is the point that you need to fix the relationship of food and why you're making these choices. Where is the limiting belief around it? Where is the factor that's making you feel so strong that you need to do something so extreme? To get out of this cycle is so important that you're giving your body adequate nutrition throughout the day. This is really the key piece here. When you give your body what it needs with intentional, balanced, adequate, steady meals throughout the day, you don't need to overcomplicate this. This literally keeps your blood sugar stable, which is the primary thing I see with people that is completely out of control and causing all sorts of other problems, which will naturally manage your cravings. Hunger hormones will become gentle cues rather than loud knocking. It's typically that pendulum swinging of being absolutely ravenous and absolutely stuffed, sick feeling. Gentle hunger, fullness. And then you'll be able to make better nutrition choices when you aren't in a place of desperation for calories and nutrients, because you're pushing off eating for so long, or eating adequately for so long, or eating enough of the right things for so long. And most importantly, you'll be so much kinder to yourself when you understand how your body works and what you can do to work with it rather than against it. When you're doing these extreme methods, you're working against your body's natural abilities to regulate itself, to self-regulate. And that's why with the intuitive piece of this, when you're born, you have an intuitive sense of being full. You're watching babies self-regulate, I'm done eating, no more, and that's it. But because of what we just talked about in the beginning of what you're seeing of you have to finish your plate, you can't waste food, this food is off limits, or you've been given treats or when as a reward your whole life. And eating is a sense of coping for celebration and when you're sad. And there's so many reasons, right? There's so many experiences you've had in your life for the past 40 plus years, however old you are. And these are why we have these habits, we have these patterns, we have this relationship with food. In order to break that, you have to rewrite this story for yourself. You have to work through the limiting beliefs, but it's also helpful for you to recognize that it's not your fault, and it's because what your input is throughout the day. So when you're seeing all these things around you in your computer screen, at the grocery store, you're out to lunch with a friend and they're doing intermittent fasting, and then you go out to dinner and there's on the menu the guilt-free foods, and it's everywhere around you. So I want you to understand that it is hard because of that, but you also have control over a lot of things that you're inputting around you. So for example, what kind of things can you control? On social media, you can absolutely unfollow accounts that are not supporting how you want to feel. If you're looking at something and it's making you feel icky from like before and after photos or some kind of like extreme thing, unfollow. You don't have to see like that. You're choosing to take that stuff in, what you're reading, what kind of articles you're looking up. So honestly, that's why it is so important to work one-on-one. And this is what I love helping my clients do, is filter out the BS, filter out the noise, filter out all of the input and bring it back to yourself, reconnect back with yourself. When you have this dialogue together of learning, first of all, relearning how to support your body with nutrition, what that looks like for you, talking through your schedule, how this can work with planning for yourself. And then you feel it in your body of how it feels to have steady blood sugar and to feel satisfied for meals and to navigate traveling and eating out, and you're choosing to do what's supporting you and how you want to feel. These messages don't affect you as drastically because you're so in tune with what you need. My problem is my identity is placed in how fit I look. Yeah, that's real. It's because, but why? Why have you chosen that? Have you chosen that your identity is placed in how you look, or has other people? So other people's perceptions are their perceptions. You're the one that can choose how you identify yourself, is what it comes down to. So if you're continuing to act in a way that that's how you're choosing to identify yourself, then my God, that's how other people are going to continue to, you're going to perceive that, oh, that's how they feel about me, but you're so much deeper, I know, than just how you look. But that's the work. That's the work. And it's probably like for myself, I used to teach yoga all the time. And as a dietitian, it's like, well, I'm supposed to look a certain way, right? And my identity was attached to that. And I'm like, no more, no more. It's a constant battle. It's a constant evolution. It's a constant work. But it's also a choice that you can make, because there's so many things that we can add value to the world. You have so many gifts and abilities and talents. And honestly, for me, like once I realized that, I literally wake up each day and say, how can I add value to the world? And when I look at it that way, it brings my identity back to a purpose and back to a bigger sense than me. And of course, I'm not going to change the world, just me. But I can say, how can I impact one person? How can I have a meaningful conversation? How can I show up in a way that hopefully this message is what someone needed to hear? That's it. And truly, like, that's what drives me to continue to do the work, because I've struggled with this in the past too, for so long. And it was really until I just was so self-aware of what I needed and how that felt, and also seeing that every single person struggles with this. Every single person struggles with this in different ways. And the only way to do it is to continue to do the work and show up for yourself and work through the limitations of what are your gifts and what are your God-given abilities that you can add to the world, and show up with that purpose. People don't care what you look like. They're so consumed with their own stuff. I guarantee it. They're so consumed with their own stuff. And if they are making comments of like, oh, wow, you look so good. Oh, wow, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that's just almost, what's the word? It's almost like expected that if you tell someone how good they look, it's just like what you do. It's a compliment of, um, it's like a cultural thing, but it doesn't mean that that's their value. I think it's just like a habit of, oh my gosh, you look so good. And it just is like a thing that we do. But why can't you say, it's so good to see you. I love being in your presence. Your smile is so great. Like I had girls at the lake the other day and just like watching their eyes change there by just like becoming so relaxed. I'm like, I have never seen your eyes glow so bright. Right. And I just like, and that was what was so impactful, like during our conversation, and it's, so that's just like a silly example of looking like deeper into the person at other things that you can connect with them, give examples of, that's not based on, wow, you lost weight, or wow, you look so thin, like, or wow, whatever, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So I hope that was helpful. I know this was becoming long, but I think it's so important. And I just want you to know that you do have control over what you take in. So throughout your day today, throughout your weekend, I want you to be so much more conscious of what is coming at you. What is your input? And when you can surround yourself with different input, you put out different, what's the word when you put out information? Output. Thank you. Output. You have different output when you take in different input, right? So I want you to just be conscious of that. And that's where it starts, of consciously seeing. And that's like, for me, I was reading this book, right? And I was just checking out and being relaxed. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? I am trying to read this stupid book. And it's all about like being extreme. And then they didn't go into like what she did after that, like after those 48 hours. I'm sure it was crazy. It was literally like she just went on with her life and nothing happened. But that's what we see, is that there's no actually what's happening behind the scenes. So, all right, my sweet friends, anything else? You're so welcome. Nicole. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I love to connect with you guys. If you're watching this as a replay, let me know any comments, any questions, any other topics that would be helpful for you. I love to see you. So have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Mwah.